Hopefully this one was the magic number.
3,000.
3K.
All right. So yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Pretty smooth. Audio's good. All right, y'all have to play with that later. Okay.
Yeah, we got it though.
All right, we got somewhere. All right. So yeah. I was turning the stream off and on. It's, as you can see, it's pretty glitchy. It's just the way I'm connecting to the server. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna be drawing and talking anyway, so not a whole lot going on. Um, so you said that you wanted to get away from doing human. Oh, hold on real quick. You wanted to get away from. I know the audio is good, so we don't need that. Okay. You want to get away from humanoid sketching or drawing. Do you have anything in mind? I'll follow suit.
I'm doing a landscape.
Landscape?
I love doing landscapes, actually. My first real painting I did was a landscape, but I think it's a really good way to tell a story in a landscape.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that. It's pretty much, in my eyes, the exact opposite of humanoid.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it still has life, but just, Earth versus people's. Excuse me while I pour my coffee.
All right,
Fresh for the sketch. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the landscape. I don't know. I'm probably gonna throw a whole bunch of different stuff in it. I'm gonna try to actually kind of just go from a reflection of thought at this point in time, rather than sketching something that I see. I'm just gonna try to pull more from my head.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I think I have an idea of what I'm going to sketch. I'll do landscape as well, but
all right.
I think actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I understand what we're going to do. Just actually getting it down. So the issue that I have when it comes to art, similar to yours, is that I'll have a vision, and then as I'm drawing it, I lose track of the actual picture that I had, and as I'm trying to remember it, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and I eventually end up losing it, and just gotta go with it, as artists do.
Happens to the best of us, dog. But I mean, it's practice. It's a repetition thing. It's the patience thing. I have none. None.
And see, for me, I was good getting better when I was in school because I hated paying attention. So I, use art as an escape. But as I've gotten out of school and had more to do, I haven't really had time to sit down and actually continue to practice. So I'm a little harder on myself than I need to be, because of that right there. I just haven't had time to sit down and actually practice anything. So we're gonna get in. We're gonna figure out how good I still am.
I feel you. Yeah, and let me tell you, it wasn't very much time where all the little corners in my notebooks and my paperwork had little drawings, little stars, little something, because I couldn't pay attention either, man. I mean, it was just I couldn't see the end goal, so I didn't really pay it no mind.
Right.
I sucked at school. I was, but now it is what it is. But I get it though, because it also, I mean, ain't much changed by way of I'm still having to deal with the fact that I can't sit down for longer than 15 minutes without.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like torture. If I don't move, my mind moves. It sucks, but I've done a pretty good job of learning to deal with it and handle it in a way that's constructive. So that's the plan.
So that's a good place to start then. Are you were talking about diagnosis earlier? Are you diagnosed with ADHD?
No. I was. I don't know. I would like to think that I know enough friends that are diagnosed that I relate to them well enough not to say yeah, but I really don't see the point in going to get diagnosed because the medicine is not. Well, I watched that Netflix documentary about ADHD meds, basically amphetamines. And it's I got enough problems, man.
Yeah.
It's I'm good. I don't want to lean on nothing else to get me there, especially if the doctor gave it to me.
Yeah.
a whole nother thought process in one's head.
So for me, because I've with dealing with the like roller coaster of emotions that I've had over the years, and just like I don't know, um, like as a young kid, I remember like as we all do, we were like just the most happiest and most outgoing. Most of us were, you know. And as life went on, things got a little harder. You know, things got yeah, things were a little harder to deal with, and I became the one that was just kind of like I didn't share a lot. I was very closeted as far as emotions, but I was be able to like talk to people and open up and help them through their problems. I just never really had a healthy outlet for mine other than playing video games. And like I think I stopped playing with action figures at 13, but I told myself that because I had this pressure to like grow up and mature. So I think that was also a good outlet for me. So when I stopped that, it came to video games and other stuff. But I think later on down the line, I may have some issues that I could go figure out. But as you said, like why go find out when they're just gonna put you on medicine that I don't want. Because when it comes to medicine, the longer you take it, the harder it is on your
Yeah, I think so.
liver.
I think so.
And I don't want health problems down the line because I have health problems.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I already got health problems. I got enough. I lean on enough vices that are going to give me health problems at this point anyway. So, what's another nail to the coffin, right? No, no, I'm good. And also, you kind of mentioned that like being outgoing and then just not. My dad actually described that pretty often to me. It's like one day you just kind of shut down. He's like you used to get out and then it was just kind of like I blinked my eyes and it was completely different. I said, I don't know what happened. I said, I remember, like, I used to be able to go to the store and pull up on somebody I didn't even know because we was looking at the same toys and start talking to them. I used to be that kind of person. And then, and I probably would say, somewhere around elementary school, third, fourth grade, go.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, that's pretty early.
Yeah, I got mad real early. I don't know. I just I stopped caring for people for one thing. So
Yeah.
it was just like I didn't really need. I was bitter.
Yeah.
Real bitter for a long time.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Sean, you're actually on time. I had to stop and start the stream like a bunch because the quality that you see now, that's the best that I could get. I'm having an issue connecting to the server that I'm still working on, but thanks for joining, man. So yeah, getting angry at a young age. I think a lot of us understand that, but we didn't really actually know that it was a thing until you get older and you realize what emotions were. So what was that like?
Got in a lot of trouble. I was in anger management. For what, fourth and fifth grade, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, in first grade, I had these temper tantrums that I could not explain. I didn't know why. It's like I couldn't do the work. It's like I felt stupid. I felt like I felt bad, and like I didn't know how to channel that into a way that. But it wasn't a huge deal. Second, third grade, I got a teacher that I knew, and so I was babied a lot. That it helped, but it didn't really help. But I was, I was still able to see it like, oh yeah, this is just cool. It's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Fourth and fifth grade, I had a teacher that knew me by my sister, which wasn't a bad thing, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting special treatment.
Ah.
And I thought that I didn't know I was getting special treatment.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
that I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was adjusting to that. But at the same time, I wasn't a fan of the teacher. I'm still not to this day.
Yeah.
My fifth grade yearbook picture, it says Joseph Gresham. My name is Joe. My legal first name is Joe.
Okay.
So she called me Joseph.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm a reasonable guy. I was like, I told her early on, I was like, this name is not on my birth certificate. My name is not Joseph. And she's like, I told her, I said, can you call me Trae? Because I go by Trae.
Yeah.
My given birth nickname.
Yeah.
Because I'm the third.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's the third. We call him Trae.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, same thing. She wasn't having it.
It's your name.
It's not like, and a lot of people will try to do it like I'm spinning it to a street thing,
Like how it is
like that.
now with
It's like,
people trying to say that they can change gingers.
yes.
I mean, but it's like I think and you know what? I think she should, if she would have explained her reasoning behind it, there may have been some understanding, but at the same time, you asked of her to refer to you as Trey because it was your given nickname by your family. It had a meaning, and like for her to be like, no, I'm gonna call you a completely different name.
Yeah. So on top of the fact that I wasn't getting special treatment, I was getting disrespected. And so it just didn't go well. That's how I ended up. That's how I wound up in anger management. And I punched a little boy because, like, well, I mean, he was talking shit.
Okay.
He was getting me in trouble. I mean, like, I don't go nowhere bothering nobody. Never have, never
Right.
will. And I'm not a tough guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, punk, but
Right.
I don't go out looking
When it's
for
time
it.
to step, it's time to step.
Yeah, but it wounded me up there fighting with my teacher. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. Hated it. And like after that, school was nothing to me until about junior year when I figured out that I actually had to get out of there with a diploma. And so,
Well, late dog.
if I tell you I was terrible in school, I was there every day.
What's up, Sean?
I was there every day in body, but the spirit was gone. The mind was not there.
Hey, you know what? I feel that though because that's how I was in high school. Except I was I don't know if you heard earlier, Sean, but I was saying that the video quality is going to be laggy. I'm having some issues connecting to the server because everything is good on my end. I've tested more than one device, laptop and computer. So it's either my ISP, which Cox has been messing up lately for the city, or it's just I can't really connect to the server. But working on it. But hey, man, glad to have you. We're just, sketch and catch. We're just drawing and talking. But as I was saying, for me in high school, it was a little different because academically, I got into high school. I came off of a 4.0 GPA from Brooks.
You went to Brooks?
Yeah, all 3 years.
I went to Brooks 6th and 7th grade year, and 8th grade I went to Stuckey.
What year did you graduate high school?
08.
Okay, so you're 2 years older than me. Okay.
So you would have been 6th grade. No,
you
when I was
gone.
in 8th grade, I was gone.
Yeah. Monopoly Company? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sean said something about Monopoly Company, and I was like, okay. 11. So actually, let me get this chat box out of your face.
I'm trying to buy Park Place. That's all I know.
Park
I'm
Place.
just saying, man. Goals, baby, goals.
We'll put it here with me. I wanted to move the chat box out of your way.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll put it.
Yeah. Looking for a dark background, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it right above your head. Okay. Yeah, talking about Cox, right? So, yeah, from middle school, I went in there with actually. So not only did I have a 4.0 GPA, one of the years, I wasn't that special. I think it was 7th grade. I had a 4.0 GPA. 8th grade, I think I had like maybe it was a little lower because I think 8th grade is when I really just started taking hits emotionally and mentally. But I did well enough to get. Actually, no, I think it was a 4.0 because I would have gotten it. So I got a packet and an invitation to join the Ivy League in East High.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's different for anyone that's been in outside of East High in Wichita or outside of the state, but to be invited to the Ivy League club, you have to have like a academic, what do they call it? Resume.
Resume.
There we go. You have the specific academic resume, and then you started out as freshman year. You basically are acknowledged for your educational background, your scholarship, how smart you are. Clearly, I didn't get all the way through.
You see, I ain't over here.
So they gave me the packet to fill out. I believe it was a charge to get into the program, but I pretty much had to weigh in just right off the bat. I didn't have to do anything but fill it out, pay the fee out. and then get into the program. But I found out that the program required more homework. I said no. I was like, nope. Tossed that packet from behind my back and went on about my business to do school normally. Freshman year was pretty good because I loved the school I was in. That was actually the one I wanted to go to. It was very well balanced, well diverse. It just spoke to me.
At East?
Yes,
Okay.
at East High.
Okay.
And then another thing that helped out too is that we lived across the street, so I could have been late whenever I wanted to, and I was. Did some funny business before and after school.
I feel it. That's a good area to do that too. There's a lot of stuff over there.
Right across the street. So if I got in trouble, I'm booking it.
You gotta go cow tipping if you bleed pipes on some shit.
Right. And the crazy thing is they would also have security going around the area of the first street on any which way.
Where is it nowadays? Because I've heard they've been doing all kinds of stuff across the street from me.
Oh yeah, no, they still do, but like they take so long to get from street to street, and they don't care because they know people are gonna do it.
Basically,
you're off school grounds. Who gives a shit?
Basically.
So
right.
if the only thing I had to worry about is the call home, because cell phones were a thing, so I couldn't just run from school and they'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna call your dad." Oh, I'm staying home anyway. Damn it. But no, so academically I was able to succeed, but I didn't take that opportunity. And then because my dad, he got into a new relationship which turned into a marriage. We had to move schools, had to change side of town. We went to the west side, had to go to Goddard. Still living in Wichita, I was like a borderline. And then had to go to Goddard. So for those who don't know, that's a predominantly white school. There's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that anyone that's a minority there acts like how they did in High School Musical. There wasn't really any minority that I'm used to. Everyone's just kind of preppy. Hi. Hello. The guys all walk around like, all the jocks walk around like jocks. A little... Are they actually mowing my lawn for once? Sorry. I hope so. But some of the jocks were cool. Some of them, just they mowing. Oh,
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So kind of speak on that while he's moving his car. We've been having an issue where our property owner provides lawn service, to which they haven't visited our home in the past, I feel, month and a half. So we had a call because we got a notice from the city saying that we have obstruction because you can't have any grass or trees, weeds taller than a foot. And I'm 6'4", and the grass touches my knee. Like, it's so bad that when my 1-year-old son goes running and he falls into the grass, he goes missing. Sean used landscape. How long did you do landscaping? Yeah. For real. For real. Hiring company, so we did everything. Oh, what made you stop? Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, we didn't expect them to come today because they were like, "Oh, we realized that the mowers we use haven't been out there. We're gonna figure something out. We'll give you a date when we know."
What?
Thanks for telling us because you texted us this morning just to send them out today.
Sounds about right.
So Sean was just telling me about how he used to landscape because I was explaining to them the situation that I'm in. He used to landscape for a hiring company. Had some issues with transportation and the heat.
I believe that. That's easy to believe.
Actually, I did. I don't know if you would call it. Oh, back and ride situation. Okay, all right, gotcha. So injury, transportation, and heat.
Yeah.
You remember Moy?
Yeah.
I used to work with him for like a month.
Oh, did you? Like a month?
Like a month or two. I just, the same thing. My car was having issues, and like, man, they wake up at 6 to have to be there at 7. I'm like, dang, I don't know if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was good money because like I had 2 jobs. I was working at Heat, then I had to work there. But I was like, dang, I don't know if I can do this forever.
Oh, it's hot.
So I liked the workout and I could do the heat. It was just like I was exhausted, man. And then, like I ended up losing a tire, and it cost me transportation for a little bit. And then like I don't know, man. It's just like I just like nah, I can't do it.
I don't blame you. I worked outside for
Yeah,
one
he
summer,
is.
and I was good on it. Uh, then it got cold, and I still had to work outside.
Yeah,
And I was like, nah,
I could
because
do the heat.
I was darker in the wintertime than I was in the summertime. Racing around outside. I don't know how it happened, dog.
I guess sun is sun.
Sun is sun. Never in my life did I think.
It's the heat.
Like I mean, it was just cold. I was skinny in red cars, so I was like working at the car auction and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was getting them ready for sale, but yeah, I was good on that. And plus, they didn't like me out there anyway. So I mean, not that they had to like me, but it's like they did not want me
don't
there.
like you. Like I've had
At
people
this point,
work.
I'm getting used to it.
So I mean, as far as work goes, because I've had people work with me that I don't like, but I'll still treat them like an employee. But if you're an ass employee, then I know I can't depend on you. Therefore, like, what are you doing there other than paying your bills, but fucking everybody else over?
Mm-hmm.
But like when you go to work and you do really good job, you do well, everyone's like, you know, it's just that one person that's just like,
I've learned to Bugs Bunny them folks. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm gonna know exactly who I am.
Yeah.
When those people don't like you, they got a problem with themselves.
That's what bugs them the most.
Yeah, man. I mean, so I keep doing what I do, and then I just let them see me be happy doing it.
Sean said, "Don't worry, bro. I did it for him."
Yeah, man. Them people, they drive me crazy. But my thing is, management normally hates me because I hold them to a high esteem and I try to make things make sense. So if you ain't on your job, then it's been like that everywhere I go, and I can't help it. But it's like as much as I started, I mean, because I done had like 250 jobs at this point. Uh, not that many, but I haven't held a job for long. Always have a job.
Yeah.
I haven't been at a single place of employment for longer than 2.5 years. So that, and I'm 33, so that'll tell you. But things make sense, and the reason why I leave so often is because if it doesn't make sense and you're not paying me to help you make it make sense, then I need to go.
Yeah.
You obviously, you know what I mean. And not that I'm always right, but at this point, it's not. It's definitely not, because a lot of the times I'll be wrong, and I will be the first to say, "Damn." But I mean, it's fair that like you see that this isn't working. Do something different.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not about to be a part of this no more. But luckily.
Oh.
Wait.
Sean was saying, are we 31, 32, 33? Yeah, because I'm 32 next month.
I'm old. Yeah.
Bitch, I'm right behind you.
We're old. So you're old too, man.
I was just counting how many jobs I've had since up until now. I've had 9.
Should I really count?
No.
Well, to be fair, a lot of jobs I've worked at the same time.
Okay.
There's not been a time.
So that's good then. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't getting fired left and right. I've only been fired once.
You know what?
I was okay to be fired from there because I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
People like me, and that's how I'm able to get.
Can't sell either.
I got to tell the truth.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's just like, you don't want this one. It's going to, you know what I mean?
That's the problem I have with working with ADT. So I worked there 11 months, and each day it was excruciating. I worked Monday through Friday, 7 to 4:30, because I was in account management. I just like we had to try to get people to not cancel their services. And it's like, the more I learned about the company, the more I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
And they wanted me to sit there
yeah.
and lie and BS. I'm like, no. So like my soul would hurt every day I woke up, and I was like, it's time to get out of here. Because not only was I dealing with that, I was also dealing with one of these managers who's like micromanaging me. No one else was saying anything wrong about what I was doing except her. She had a problem with everything I was doing. She would tell me to do something, I did it, but it was a problem.
And it be like that
And I was
often.
like, you have an issue with me, and this is about to go south. One day she called me, because while we're working, like they'll call you, and they'll be like, hey, they'll give you notes. They'll be like, what was up with that last call? I was like, what? She's like, what's up? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was firm because I was done being nice, because she kept getting on my butt about everything. I was like, nah, today, you gonna get it.
You will learn today.
Because I'm tired of you. So I gave her attitude, and we even had a meeting, and I was sitting there, like, staring at her picture the hardest. And I was like, man, she can't even see that I'm doing it. So why am I like, why do I care?
All six of these people, but I'm looking. Shoot.
I'm not looking at the camera, and, like, I just got this mug on my face. I'm not happy.
You had the Buckeyes? Did you have the Buckeyes?
Nah, I'll be like,
So you
this,
start getting
listening.
crazy. I was like your drunk uncle, man.
Or if I look up, I'm
It's time to
like,
go. I did that with my manager just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna say where I work at, but I just got to that point in time. I was like, man, let's be real here, guys, and kept coming at me, kept coming. And it's just like, when I get the opportunity, I will. And then that's exactly what I did. The last time he came up to me, and it's just like, all right, man, there was nothing I could do. And I told him that 2 to 3 times.
yeah.
And it's not like he's telling me that there's a way that I could go about it to actually get it done.
Right.
Because I would be the person who knew that. He doesn't know. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I do.
Mm-hmm.
So leave me alone and let me get it when I tell you I'm gonna get it. But it's just things like that that happen every day. So like for a month and a half, and then it'll build up, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, man, I'm just But
That's always the hardest thing to do. Oh, that's an HP pixel. Okay. That's always the hardest thing to deal with, because when someone's actually like purposefully not giving you the know-how, or they're just like, figure it out. You got trained.
oh,
Not everyone takes training the same way. Two, not everyone has the best trainer. Like, sometimes, depending on how the trainer is, or how much time they have in that day, how focused they are, you're not getting the same information.
basically.
So pretty much, like, for the first 3 months, every shift is training. It's just hands-on training.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how I like to look at it. Anything that I just got to learn, I take about this month of time and really figure everything out and fine tune things. Not even worry about my speed or nothing. But,
Yeah.
just really understand the bones of the operation. And after you do that kind of stuff, nothing's really hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should be able to. You should be able to do it in less than a month, really, depending on your job.
Yeah.
But 8 hours a day for a month should be cake.
And see, it's always good to have people around you who are very motivating to, like, get you to learn. Like, especially if you're on my team, no matter what we're doing, if it's a team based environment, and you're on my team and you slacking, I gotta teach you what I know, because if you slowing me down, you slowing everybody else down. And me, I'm a quick worker. I'm a quick learner. So like, when we gotta get it, we gotta pick it up. We pick it up. But I'm gonna be cool about it. But like, if you're purposefully like slacking, I'm like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, what do you like? You gotta get it together, because we're here to work, man. Like, we're all here to make money. You gotta make money the same way we do. That means you gotta be with the pace, or get the hell out of here and find somewhere that's slower pace for you.
And see, when I tell you I got no patience, I don't even tell people that. Like, and this is where I will say I have a negative attitude. Like, I'm not going to get on here. I'm a very modest person. I don't like to gloat. So I'll be real honest with myself at all times. I'm not about to teach nobody nothing. If somebody comes into a job that doesn't ask questions as a grown individual,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna watch all this stuff get messed up until somebody comes and talks to you about what you're doing wrong. But if you ask questions and actually act like you want to engage and do it the way that it needs to be done, by all means, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to keep on coming up to you sounding like, because I already sound like an old head all the time anyway, and be getting on people's nerves. So it's like, I'm going to shut up and, do my job over here.
Right.
I could teach you a million different things on how to get it right, but if you're not going to receive it, then I'm not even going to, waste my time.
And I can say this because it's been told to me. Sometimes it's that people don't know how to approach you, and I had to be like, "Why?" Like me personally, I was like, "What do you mean? I'm approachable.
I'm approachable.
You can approach me." It's just like whenever you're upset, we can tell because it's on your face. I'm like, "Well, that's how emotions work," but you can still talk to me. Like that's the one thing I hated about people at work was they're like, "Oh, we know when you're mad, so we just leave you alone." Like you can still talk to me. I've never given you any reason to say you can't talk to me because I'll respond. Sometimes if it's a question and it doesn't require me to actually verbally respond, I won't. I'll nod my head. But you can still talk to me. I'm going to be mad, but they're my emotions. I'm not going to throw them on you.
Exactly. Everybody, like, that was the thing about my childhood, though. Everybody used to always talk to me about how mad I would get. And I'm a very pertinent and impatient person. And it's like, hey, it led to a lot of social anxieties and stuff because people didn't know how to approach me. And I was just like, I'm fine. They're like, why are you so mad?
Yeah, because that's how I feel like now, like with me, being older, like everyone, because like I had to take the reins of the family at a very young age. So now, like everyone knows when I'm angry. They're just like, they'll talk amongst each other. What's wrong with him? I don't know. No one asks me anything directly, so like whenever I'm mad, I'm just a mad entity in your environment. Just the angry spirit.
Just let them calm down real quick, y'all.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like for me, I don't do it on purpose, but I notice I have a time limit with my anger. If I'm like really pissed off, give me 3 hours.
What people also might think is wild about me. I can be really, 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 really fighting mad, and in 15 minutes, if I breathe and really talk it out, I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine. Now, I learned that doing that is really good, actually, because it helps you channel your anger into. If the situation has expired, then the situation has expired. The people are your life. If you don't eliminate them, because I'm not I'm not a killer, but if you don't, they're gonna be there. You know what I mean? It's
but don't push me.
Revenge like sweet George. But nah, man. Like as long as that's there, it has the potential to come back.
Yeah.
So if you continue to handle it the same way you've been handling it, then you're not growing. You know what I mean? And you gotta realize that, or you just gonna keep getting mad. So that was like all of my high school and middle school career, just mad because. But
so I actually had a problem. I didn't actually really know how to control. Like once I started getting angry for real, I didn't know how to control it because it felt good.
Ooh.
So like when I would get angry, I would I would hate. I started to hate being pissed off, but it would happen more often. But eventually, it got to the point to where like being angry, I think what felt good about it, to save myself from sounding like sadistic, what felt good about it is that I could actually release all the energy that was pent up. For me, it was not only emotion, but it was energy because I would get hot. And I would be able to I'd be able to hover even till this day, I'd be able to hover my hand over any part of my body and just feel the heat emanating because I'd just be like literally fuming. Like any of the anime fans out there, I'm powering up.
Kyle.
Burning off and you know what's even crazier? Like I said, 3 hours, right? After 3 hours, I'm calming down. I'm tired. I'm so exhausted because I've been sitting there just fuming for 3 hours straight, and I'm just like, I'm too tired to be mad.
Tell you what, last time I had a fit, I was calling it having a fit. I ain't even gonna try to man it up to talk like I'm talking about my 2-year-old right now.
No, we have, we have.
For one thing, we was playing basketball in 100 degree weather. 15-minute quarters. I was like, hey, nah, y'all, we got to turn this down. We getting overheated. Of course, I got overheated. Got in a fight. Um, but I'm the same way. I get hot when I get upset. To me, and I guess the reason I looked at you like that when it feels good, because you're right. Um, I've released energy that had nothing to do with the whole situation.
Yeah.
I'm being mad, but if you, I mean, to me, I'm gonna give you every opportunity to get out of my way.
Yeah.
But if you don't,
I've warned you.
you know. But yeah, that was part of my fit, man. It was hot, and then I was giving off heat, and yeah, it just wasn't a good situation at all.
So, which why I really related to the fact that like even I'm learning now to like breathe things out so I don't get that far, and I've been doing very well. But like you were saying, you have to breathe to calm down in a matter of 15 minutes. That's literally expelling the energy that could be flooding through your body.
Absolutely.
And the thing for me is that like when I realized I started to have some issues with maintaining my anger, um, that's when I got the quietest, because what I realized is that I would start lashing out verbally, and I wouldn't care about who you were or what you thought about what I was saying, because if it turned physical, I'm gonna get physical, and I'm not one of those people who will sit there and like, oh, what's up, like, nah. If you attack me once and you give me a chance to attack back, you're gonna have to kill me,
because that's me giving you
I'm
opportunity.
Not,
and
yeah,
it's people that think like that. It's not that we're afraid of anything. It's just like we don't really want to do that.
We don't. This is you push us to such a limit that we know we can get to. We don't want to touch that. So not only are we angry at you, we're angry at the situation. We're angry at ourselves for getting beyond this point. And now we're in survival mode, because you put, like, if it gets physical, it's like, okay, now you've sparked a whole nother entity within me, because now you put not only my life in danger, but yours. And I'm going to show you should have never done that. And
how we get here in the first place? How we get here? This your fault. We ended up.
You make me do this.
You made me do this. Yep. Hey, man. That's real. And I told you a while back. I think we even off, like, because we know each other for a pretty good while, but to really sit and hang out, I knew the whole time, like, we kind of got a similar like thought process on a lot of stuff.
We're very similar.
That feels good, because I was always pretty well an outcast, not a bad or a what's the word I'm looking for?
So I think
desiring type of person, but
I think I know where you're getting at, but in terms of like a social state, Danielle actually had a good point. I was talking about how I learned that the definition that we go by as far as introverts and extroverts is very simplistic, to where you get those people who are like, oh, I'm an introvert, because I do this and that. It's like, well, that's not necessarily the full definition. You chose and picked what fit your profile, and then you went with it. So like now you're going around telling everybody you're an introvert, but really you're acting like an extrovert.
You can actually relate that to a lot of different words and things, especially with social media nowadays. People only scratch the surface of what they think that they're doing or feeling. It's
because it befits them.
There's depth.
It's like, oh, I'm this way. It fits my personality, therefore I'm this. Like, hold on, because that's the one you like to show.
That's exactly why I don't like labels too.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't. And the reason why I thought it was, I'm pushing forward. So it's going to be a topic. I believe it's going to be it'll probably be September, because October is going to be our paranormal fest. We're going to talk things, ghosts and UFOs. November, I mean, I'm going to be cliche. We're going to talk about what we're thankful for. It's because Thanksgiving month, and it's a big month for me, because not only is it Thanksgiving, it's my brother's birthday, my late brother's birthday. I'll be busy that month doing DJing a wedding. So yeah, we're just going to talk about what we're thankful for, because come December, we'll talk about, holidays and just like end of year stuff. We'll just kind of let it all out. But yeah, I feel like maybe September is going to be a good topic to talk about, just social gatherings. I don't know. I'll figure out the exact title, but yeah, definitely we're gonna be talking about the definitions of introvert and extrovert. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just kind of like that. Like I was that way too. Like I was like what we're saying. I used to be a very outgoing kid until I got to a point where like I realized that when I say stuff, people aren't really listening. So I stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to say
Mm-hmm.
things appropriately
I'm
at the
very
right
pleased with
time
my
and the right
words.
thing to say. So I remember one time I was very excited because I was in seventh grade. I was in Spanish class, and there was this eighth grader. You know, he's pretty popular. I think he was gay, but that's not what made him popular. He was just one of those guys who's like funny, kind of outspoken, kind of sassy. But he was cool. But you know, sometimes he walked in, he kind of had an attitude, and he was over it after a while. But
Mm-hmm.
made a lot of people laugh. So one day, one of the other popular kids, he was always known for trying to make weird comments and everything, but he was kind of awkwardly funny. The class got quiet after he had made a comment, and I had said something like "hit you with that belt" or something like that, because he's talking about like getting disciplined and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like I made the popular kid laugh, and then everyone else laughed. I was like,
Uh-oh.
"Oh, I got a
Uh-oh.
taste of comedy."
Uh-huh.
So I know where to insert things and everything. That was like the one time I was like, "Yeah, I got this."
Ain't it weird what that does to your adolescent body, man?
It
It's like
just like
the level of excitement and stuff like
it's a
that.
level up.
If you're not the popular person, I guess.
Yeah, because you're sitting there
Uh,
like, yes. Like, why am I focused on you? But the funniest thing was that not only, I think another thing was that like we were in Spanish class. I was the only one getting 100% on all the tests.
Mm.
I had a, oh yeah, right there. I had 100% on all the tests, all the quizzes, all the homework. Like my score for that class,
Mhm.
100%.
Wow.
It was. I think I had one test where I had like a 99 or 98 or something. And I think
I
it was
ain't
just
never
like the
seen
spelling.
that.
But I was like, I didn't know I'd be so good at Spanish.
I tell you what,
Entry Spanish, seventh grade. That
I took
I'm
Spanish a
okay
lot,
now.
and I still remember a decent amount.
Mhm.
Not nearly enough to say that I know Spanish, because then I turn into one of them tourists. You don't want to be that guy. So no, I don't speak Spanish, but I know a little bit of Spanish. Um, I where was I going with that? Oh, I don't remember. Oh well. Nah, high school Spanish class was fun. Middle school Spanish class was more fun to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took it like sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. It was an easy class for me. And when I say easy, I said I sucked in school, so I was able to pass. I oh, that's where I was going because he said you had 100%. I was like, man, closest thing I had to 100%. Actually, I got an A in history, but I had one of the toughest teachers in the school, the basketball coach,
Yeah.
Coach Hour. I got an A in his class. I don't know how. Well, I mean, I was always really good in history, and it kind of had something to do with like realizing my confidence,
Yeah.
and just kind of where I was at as far as what my head was doing. I was always decent in school. It's just the level of effort that I decided to
Right.
put it that way. And Coach Hour wasn't gonna have no. He wasn't gonna go for no effort. He reminded me a lot of my dad too, so I think I was a little bit scared of him. But yep, I didn't really. Let's see, it was Spanish class. English actually was pretty decent. See, I knew what I was doing. I just had to apply myself.
And see, that's the weird thing about English class is that I think you're learning about pronouns, conjunctions, and whatever all the mess was, like how to properly like write. I think it was more about writing and that rather than it was speaking. So when people are
Mm.
like, "Why are you taking English? It's your primary language." Well, you got to know how to like properly write it because the way that we talk, you're pretty much raised on like slang.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you're pretty much raised on slang. And, so yeah, there's always there's a proper way. Speaking of language, right now I'm learning Vietnamese, and
What?
from my uncle, he said it's the proper, and I believe it's the northern dialect. It's either northern or southern.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember because that's what was the whole Vietnam War about. Was that the northern part was trying to take over the southern part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so because of Vietnamese, I've been interested in like the Vietnamese culture, and I was like, well, what better way than to learn how to speak it? It's tough.
let me ask you, because I was gonna ask you, but I don't know. What you mix with?
Vietnamese, Cherokee, Native American, and African American.
Okay. You know where your Cherokee people at?
Oklahoma.
What part?
I don't know.
I'm gonna be an old head because that's what everybody does.
No, you're fine. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we're stationed in Oklahoma because I got my card. Yeah, I went and got my ID.
Oh,
when
you
they
got
were
your
here.
card and everything?
Yeah.
My parents are from Oklahoma, Eastern Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just south of Tulsa.
Okay.
And they're, well, deep down the roots are Creek Indian.
Oh, okay.
And so I always ask, and say, like all the old heads, where your people from? I am slowly turning into that guy, and it actually is getting faster and faster by the day.
But you know what? That's cool though, because to know other heritages is kind of keeping the actual the nationality alive, the culture alive.
A lot of people
because
care about it, man.
And you know the crazy thing I found out? A lot of Native Americans are white.
They look at
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just like it's new because, like, of course, the Native Americans I know about, they're about my skin tone, a little bit lighter, and they're like the stereotypical. We do powwows. Well, they do. I go to them. They do powwows, and they wear the ceremonial outfits for powwows and such. But even outside of that, like, the ones to be like, jeans, plaid shirts, they got the necklace thing that like cowboys used to wear, some of them wear boots, and they all have that, most of them have that same deep monotone voice.
They say, you
and then the hair.
Ball of trash on the floor, that teardrop on there. Is that what you about to say next?
You guys, I know where you got that from.
It's like that though.
Read
man.
my
Like,
mind.
a lot of people don't realize, and it's almost controversial in some places to say that it's just as many black Indians that it is like, you know what I mean, the Indians that look
dark white.
What do you mean?
They're dark white.
No, they're Indian, like they're Native American, but they're black skin. And it's just like,
like full black skin. Like, okay,
I have a fairly good mix of Indian. I mean, not like the regular Indian, like everybody
actually,
said.
No, you're right.
Family, but
you're right.
Like,
because there are darker complexion Native Americans. Yeah, I've actually met a few, and it's actually her mom.
Oh, right?
My wife's mom. Yeah, and her family. Yeah, they're they darker skinned Native American.
Look, the way I grew up, my grandma taught us growing up and stuff like that. It was a lot of Indian heritage. We didn't really know. We were just coming up with kids. But like when I tell you, my mama was in the sticks. Like I used to spend my summers in the sticks. Not a neighbor that's not related to us for about a half a mile or so.
Yeah.
And so we learned a lot about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Cultures, man, it's important.
Definitely,
it's important.
Absolutely.
Not even just interesting. It's important.
Yeah, and like we need the museums. Like, we need to have them. Like, I think what they can do is, like, if you have a museum that has culture in your city, and you're like, there's nothing to do in your city. Like a lot of people here in Wichita, there's nothing to do. Go learn about some shit. This city was built on Native American culture. Like Keeper of the Plains. The one pinnacle monument or one of the few pinnacle monuments that we have in the city, one of the most beautiful views that we have, Keeper of the Plains, and that's connected to the Native Indian Center, which is a museum of its own.
Because I was going to ask you, when the last time you went to the Indian Center?
When I went and got my card.
When
I went and got my card back in, because they had an all meeting. Because I read it on Facebook, they were supposed to have a powwow too, but they didn't because I think it was just too cold.
And I wasn't trying to put you out there.
No, you're good. Like, you're good.
Because I felt myself like, man, I ain't been to the Indian Center in forever, and I used to do Indian tacos.
Yeah, they were supposed to have it. They catered Hog and Wild.
Oh, come on, man. That's a pretty bad trade right there. It's pretty controversial.
Not trying to
trade.
put them
Hold
out,
on.
but I expected what I expected, and I showed up and they had pork and
That's
beans.
because there's not enough people in Kansas to get excited about stuff
here's-
like Indian tacos.
Yeah, but
man.
and you know what's crazy? I think they did it because a lot of people were coming from like Hutch and Pratt and even well no, because if you're in Oklahoma, you know where to go. So like they were coming on the outskirts of Wichita,
Uh-huh.
all in Kansas, but they were coming from all over Kansas. So and they're like, oh, you know, what better way to treat these white folks than to give them their own hog and wild? Because yo, it was nothing but.
Really?
When I tell you, you walk it like that's what even tripped me out even more is that, and it's just culture shock. It's not the fact that I'm like y'all can't be serious. It's just culture shock.
Yeah.
When we walked in, and we walked into the middle part of the Indian Center where they have the they have the steps where people sit for like conferences and everything. Dude, damn near every face, white, red, white, dark white,
And hey, I
that's the
mean,
tan, but darker tan.
when they darker tan, to get, is it red or is it dark? Is it, nah, bro.
How do you remember? I guess that commercial was always ran. I'm sorry. Sean was sitting there putting the hog and
Oh,
hog.
wow, pig Bob. Hey, man, it's a classic.
But yeah, dude, definitely a culture shock because we walked in there, all the faces were looking at me like I was a standout.
Of course.
And then I saw some people that I know from back in the day. They were also so it's crazy because like all the ones that were out there listening to the announcements were predominantly native white. Everyone trying to get their ID card
Was native black.
yeah. Because nobody was trying to drive to Oklahoma to get that card.
Come on, that drive ain't.
That's just why. I mean, you could feel it in there. It's definitely two different areas. One was I got to get this. One's like, oh, I enjoy being here.
I love us, man. Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't know. It's interesting. Like here, I think you're right though. Wichita or Kansas in general needs to be more in touch with the native roots. I mean, most of the streets that we list off, a lot of them are Indian and all that kind of stuff. It's like
Even the name
Native
of the
American,
city, Wichita.
Boom, right there. I mean, so yeah, but like I said, it's not as strong here.
You know what? I think that's what it is though, because there was a stronger Native American tone back in the day. Now it's just like shopping centers and like nothing matters anymore. It's so diverse that nothing really matters. Like there's nothing wrong with having a city that is implemented solely off of their heritage, but they're willing to expand to make it more diverse. We're losing the footing of what it means to be Native American in this city. And the only problem that I have with that is that we can do more. I think we can do more to involve people in what we got going on. That way we can have more events, but like because of funding and COVID, everyone's still recovering. Like that was a huge loss. So I think when everyone fully recovers the next 3 years, they should be able to do more. But I really think that with us being so close to Oklahoma, being the southernmost city of Kansas, one of them, I think we should really have some kind of more involvement or more exposure to the Native American culture. More so, I think I don't know if the Cherokee Nation's predominant here, but I mean, either way, it'll be nice.
If you want to get political about it, they should have just bought the casino, but they should have just put the casino here. Let me stop.
And then make it more stereotypical. Oh, what? You guys got the casino? Yeah, and take the white people's money.
And put it
And the black.
and then spend it irresponsibly.
And
Okay, there I go. Okay, I'm done. But nah, man. I don't know. I wonder what we could do. Well, that's one of my things. More so being an artist is just a creative. I've always thought about ways to make a better community.
Yeah.
That's a part that's going to help me out a lot. with raising kids. Like I even want to use my art to get kids into, you know, different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Other than what you see in the news and stuff nowadays.
Yeah. And then
Um,
that too is like for me, me and my wife, we like to do this thing where we really keep the kids away from screens for
mm,
as long as we
mm,
can in a day.
mm.
Um, so I mean, as you can see, my or hear my son's on there tripping now because he don't have his tablet or he's not watching the TV show that he wants to watch. But it's like they got to a point to where they were so dependent on it. We're like, hell no, never again.
Yep.
Like you'll be lucky enough to even see this shit tomorrow.
Well, that's a big part of it for me is you know, I'm man, first time dad, 2 year old, and I'm sitting up here looking like every other thing that I think is what am I teaching him?
Yeah.
What am I teaching him? What am I
Yeah.
teaching him? So I found myself sitting down, um, not doing anything, not being productive, being
Okay.
counterproductive, and
Yeah.
then I stop and think. I say, what am I teaching him? What am I teaching him? It becomes a little stressful.
So here's the thing I told myself. I was the same exact way. He's two.
Oh, I feel like 32.
Because they're so advanced these days because of what they have around them. You feel like you should be teaching something because that's how smart they are.
Mm-hmm.
You teach them as they go. So when they get curious about something, and I'm saying this out loud because I am trying to implement it on my own instead of like, no, 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 no all the time. I've been trying. I've a little rough start for me, but I've been trying. So like, but like, whenever you find that they're curious about something, and my wife has helped me understand and do this too because she's way better at it than I am because women are more emotional patient than we are.
Yep.
So what I learned from her and then kind of like looking into myself and in every other parent that we know, like learning from their mistakes and all that such. When they're curious about something, tell them about it. If it's something that they should be messing with, let them know that. But you don't put too much pressure on yourself trying to teach them something every single day because you're gonna overload them.
Facts. That's
So it's like think of it like if you see that they're curious something, then yeah, like if they show continual curiosity, start to try to get them to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't force them to learn anything that they don't want to force. They don't want to learn. Because like, dude, I was the same way. And I just started to turn this around recently. So you're not alone. It's I would sit there and be like, I gotta teach them something. I gotta do something with them. Like I feel like I'm not letting them do anything. It's like no, this is their years to learn things on their own. This is their time to like play and do whatever they want. Be kids because when it's time for them to learn, if you're already forcing them to learn, they're not gonna want to do it.
Yep.
So if you allow them to understand that it's at their pace before it's really time to be like, hey, now you have to, it'll be a lot better.
I feel that
Because it takes pressure off yourself. Like you're doing a wonderful job for a kid being two. If he's smart enough to do many things that most 2-year-olds aren't doing, you're already doing a very good job.
Let me tell you something about this little kid. He scares me sometimes. I
It's
put him in the
scary.
water.
Yeah.
He started going like it was not. I mean, he had floaties on.
Yeah.
But yes, y'all, I'm not a killer. He had floaties on.
Oh, I'm just more like I'm into your story.
No, I just kind of thought about it. Like I put him in the water. I'm like, I wonder how they took that. No, but yeah, and he just started going. But it took me a little bit to let him go. It took me a little bit to actually say he's ready. You know.
I have that same problem.
Uh-huh.
So because I'm very over, so you have to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as long as you understand a lot quicker than later, hey, maybe like let go of the reins a little bit. You're training yourself to do that when he becomes a man.
Yeah.
Well, a young man, a young man, and then also if you end up having a daughter, you're doing that too. I have a daughter, so hey, I have to. You'll get there. But like it's just you're training yourself to let go of the reins because it's gonna happen eventually. So and again, my wife helped me do this because she's one that's like, oh, let them do it. Like, hey, hold up, and like, no, you can't. You gotta watch them. You gotta be close, and it's like you do, but like kind of like give them a little bit of freedom.
Yep.
I had to start doing that recently as well. Like when I sit there and look at something before I go stop or hey no, I'll have to be like, is this really a problem? As long as I'm
Yeah,
close, as long as I can monitor, that should be fine.
I tell you what, I was putting my home theater stereo together the other day, and if y'all parents, y'all know Mario just came out on video. Loves Mario.
Super Mario?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
Oh,
If that's an ad and it gets some streams, I want my revenue. Because they pay me every time I do. No, but I'm glad you got that reference. Um, but I was putting my system together. I'm excited. I've been working on this for a while. Got my music about to come through, and I felt and Zach climb up on me on my computer chair. "Hey, Mario, I ain't got Peacock. His mama do." You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh man, here in a little bit we can go." And everything that I was doing to get my stuff together was failing. I caught myself getting, I won't say pissed off, but I was getting irritated.
Yeah.
And I heard Mario two, three, four. I mean, as many times as a 2-year-old will ask you. I heard it that many times, and I had to stop. And this is where I'm really proud of myself, is because this is me having patience that I never knew I had.
Yeah.
I had to stop, and I had to say, you know what? I'm gonna come back to this because there's no way I'm not about to win against Mario. Right?
Yeah.
So we load up and we go have dinner with his mom and stuff like that. And I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get this taken care of." I said, "I'm at the point to where I'm getting a little frustrated." She said, "Okay." Thank God. And I went home and I got it. I got my record player first.
Yeah.
And then that was enough for me. And then the next morning, I figured out my TV settings with the receiver settings in order to get everything good.
Okay.
But yeah, man, like being a frustrated dad and then coming home and showing your kids you're frustrated is complete trash.
Man.
Or anything that you put on them because you're upset is horrible.
And I'll say this every opportunity that I get. Parenting, there is no such thing as perfection.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
Because you may think that you're a perfect parent, but you're not. Because every day is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got 3 kids. I know what I'm doing. Well, every day with 3 kids is a learning experience. Every day with handling 2, them doing all right, and then 1 doing, something's wrong with them. That's a new experience. Handling, 2 that have something wrong with them, 1's all right. It's going to be a new experience. All 3 of them, something's wrong. It's going to be a new experience.
And here's the thing. As long as the kid is growing, they're going to have new experiences that they're going to be dealing with, and they're going to handle it. And their parenting is never done. So it's like, even if they don't come to you with these issues, good. Like I don't know. I can't imagine saying that I'm a perfect parent, knowing all the things that they come in life in general.
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to save a couple of paychecks,
Yeah.
If you're not very good at it and you're trying to learn, you're not going to just stack those 2 paychecks,
No.
back to back just like that. No, it takes time. You're gonna get rid of your, all those things that comes with actually getting there.
Yeah.
And it's always a new experience.
And so I'll say this, like, because of that particular comment that I like to say every time is that we're also, in a way, depending on how you were raised, you may also be exposing your kids to what you learned, what you were taught, or what you experienced yourself as a kid. So like when you're able to get to the point where you understand that, you should be like, all right, I gotta not do that again. Because if you can end it in that moment real quick, you won't really see that in the future. Because like a lot of us, even people older than us, like they're understanding their traumas related to childhood trauma, like from childhood. Like we got 48-year-olds like, oh man, I'm doing this and I've been doing this for years because this happened as a kid. And the reason why it's so crucial to understand, like, talk it out, get a therapist, get a friend who has a good ear, who can just like let you vent, or he'll give you honest, like very not brutal, but like, just honest, like feedback, progressive, improving feedback. not someone who's just like, well, you're just stupid.
I I had an issue with um getting trying to get advice, and every time I tried to get this advice, it would come with like some sort of judgment or life lesson.
Yeah.
And it's just like all conversations don't really call for a college dissertation on
Yeah.
the specific subject, but at the same time, if a person cares about you enough and they're just that type of person, they're going to keep going until they feel like they
Yeah.
got their point across. So I get it, but
I had to tell myself that because I sometimes when I'm in the middle of a conversation, I don't realize that I'm doing it because I feel like I'm just trying to help someone like find the answer. And then what I had to understand is that not everyone wants that. I think it may have been Sean that helped me understand that. Not everybody wants you to give them the answer. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, not everybody wants you to give them the answer. Sometimes they want you to answer because for me, working at Heat, I was able to like tell everyone how everyone was going to operate. I could tell you about like if I worked with you, and even like knowing customers, it's just knowing people and patterns.
Yep.
So like if I could sit here and tell, which I've done it a few times, I'd be like, hey, yo, this person's about to do this, and that. When they found out I could do that, they looked at me like I was crazy. And like when I would sit there and when they come to me with a problem, I'd look them in their eye and just be like, this is what is going on. This is what you should do. Um, they wouldn't actually really talk to me again. They'd go talk to other people. One, because like they wanted someone to enable them, and then two, I think that was also the case. Is that like maybe I read them too well. I read them too well. I read them better than they would read themselves.
And I had to realize that, like, cause I'm just the same, which is why I think that I had that conversation with myself because I say that, and then I go and ask for advice, and I do the same to a person, and you look at that mirror and you sit and say, "Dang, I guess that's probably why I've been getting those kind of responses." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it helps you kind of relax and that kind of stuff. But doing a lot of reflecting, I actually was asking for too much advice at one point in time anyway. I always kind of seek validation somewhere from some people or just want to talk things out and then end up asking for advice because that's usually kind of what kind of how my conversations normally lead to. I suck at talking, but um, speaking with people, I say the whole "what should I do" thing or "how would you feel" type of thing, and really, there's no right or wrong answer. It's how you feel.
Yeah.
Now, how can I assess this situation? That's a better question. But if you ask the wrong person, you might end up, going to jail.
And what I learned about giving advice is that I guess what I was thinking is like maybe it used to be a common practice, but when you're talking to someone and they're venting and it's like it seems like they want something or maybe they just want to vent. If you're unsure, when you go to respond, you go, well, you ask for permission. You go, hey, can I give some advice? Or And when I read that, I forgot where I read it at, but when I read that, I was like, dang, that's probably why people stopped talking to me because I never actually just kind of like asked. I just kind of gave my 2 cents. And to interject here, I like me and Sean had said, or Sean had said this to me before, and I really like what he says, and I like when he says it. Not everyone wants to see it through your lens.
Not everybody can, you know what I mean?
They don't want the clear lens, our lens. They, in my opinion, want it to be a little unclear. This gives them room to figure it out themselves. Yeah.
Yep.
So we were talking one day, and he had stated, it's because people don't see the things the way we see them because they don't. It's not that it's a different point of view. It's just they don't see it through our lens.
They're simply not who we are. You know what I mean? And that's fair. I mean, everybody's different. Like I said, there's no right or wrong to this mess. Especially nowadays, like we wanted to back in the day we wanted to follow this specific guideline that unfortunately seems like now don't even really apply to nothing. But I won't get into a faith conversation at this point. I could go for days, and I'm a very faithful person.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna keep acting like, if the world's gonna keep acting like it don't matter, then you have to adjust, and that doesn't mean necessarily sacrificing your faith or nothing like that. But you got to know how people are gonna be moving nowadays, and it's important. Sucks. It sucks, but that's just the world we live in today.
And because the world is ever growing, it always calls for adjustment. You can't just stay stagnant. Like when we look at our elders, we're just like, oh, they're still doing things because they're old. Like with people who are racist, they're like 80, 80, 90 years old, still calling black people the N word, still calling Hispanics their word, or Asians their word. Like, oh, we use the excuse like, oh, he's just old. He's old
He
fashioned.
doesn't know any better.
Like, nah, no matter how old you are, you can outlearn. You can get rid of some of that old stuff, but people choose not to.
Let me tell you how hard it's been for me. I'm unlearning so much stuff. Well, I'm trying to.
No, yeah.
Not to say that my parents didn't teach me correctly, because they did. They taught me how to do what I feel is right for me and stay out of jail doing it. So,
It was right to them at the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Or is the best.
it wasn't. I don't think that was wrong advice at all. Because if you really still apply that, then I mean, stay out of jail.
Yeah.
And do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong.
And it's always a little can go a long way. So like if that's something that really planted in your head, and like they've successfully done their job as a parent. And that's a lot of thing too. Like I think because we want to be perfect parents, we put so much into how to being a parent. Really, it's just that as long as you tell them to do right and they're doing right, every day you can learn to do something different, or you be a little better. But give them the basic fundamentals of how to operate as a human being. Let them handle everything on their own. Because we're not always going to have the answers for them, because we're still learning the answers ourselves.
Right.
But if you can say, hey, I don't have the answer, but we'll learn it together.
Yep.
Instead of saying, I don't know, or go figure it out. Like, because trust me, I have to learn to check my tone too. Because like my first instinct is to insert discipline. I mean, instead of letting them be kids for most of what they're doing, my instinct is discipline. But I shouldn't be that way. So I've been really learning to open up, like allow a lot more to happen without me harping down on them. But a lot of times it's, hey, nah, don't touch that because I know you're gonna spill it. Keep the cups in the kitchen because I know you're gonna spill them in the living room. Because when I don't tell them no, what happens?
They spill it. They spill it. I mean, every time.
And so
every time.
I have to tell myself that verbal discipline isn't bad as long as you're not yelling at them. So now I've been trying to teach myself to check my tone instead of like being firm about it. Just kind of like open it up a little bit.
As a dad, you always have that big presence anyway.
Yeah.
And you're like this, and it's like kids looking at you like, and for me being as big as I am, I definitely have to watch it. But my son's coming right up behind me, so he ain't about to be scared in the next couple days. I don't think.
And the thing is that a lot of people won't understand how you parent. They're gonna go based off of how they parent, how their parents parented, how their grandparents parented. So when some people go, that's not what you're supposed to do. It's like, no, that's not what works for you. This works for me.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe you're both wrong. Maybe it's not about being corrected. Maybe it's not really working. But we're learning.
And we don't find that out until the moment comes where we find it out.
Yep. And it's always
it's just
kind of, sometimes it's the worst moment. Sometimes it's...
Well, I told that boy right when I said that. And then next thing you know, it's just, it's hard. But like you said, a little goes a long way, and teach your kids to just be,
What I've been telling myself to do is that whenever they end up doing something, Danielle really helped me implement this and figure it out, talk them through it. So I've been having it instead of instilling a direct order, let them know why.
It's important. You don't have to answer all the why questions that you're going to get from toddlers. Good Lord, you'd be really good if you did. But at the same time, explaining to kids why you're cleaning up, explaining to them why they're I mean anything while they're eating their vegetables.
Yeah.
It's going to help them to at least care about one thing or the other.
Yeah.
Because you can just say, oh, because I said so, and we're children of the '90s,
Yeah.
and
That works
that
for us.
I mean, did it?
Yeah.
It worked.
Most of us.
But I think it
Most of us that aren't shooting up schools.
that's different. It worked for us for the time being, but as we get older and we start to teach these kids because I said so,
Yeah.
they like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What you
they
gonna
have
do if
a
I keep
rebuttal.
going? You
Yeah,
know,
they
you
have
can't
a
do that
rebuttal.
nowadays because I said so does not work. Uh, I kind of love it because I mean, as much as I honestly can't stand the new generation, they be on my nerves.
It's very eye opening.
I do give them a lot of credit for being who they are.
Yeah.
Without any compromise.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. It can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
But if you give them the right guidance, they can probably do what you was trying to do tenfold in half the time.
Yeah.
That's what I hope, but I don't know. But like I said, this generation moves with some tenacity, and I'm not mad about it.
And they have a good spirit about them with how they move, but then it's just like y'all really don't know what you're getting into.
Right. Right.
And that's the same thing that we were told when we were young, because we thought we knew better. We thought we could take on the world. But
and millennials are.
Oh my
millennials
God.
are suffering right now because we thought we had it, and these things started changing to where we couldn't even foresee.
Yeah.
Which we all should have bought a house in '08, guys. We really should have. We should have been out buying houses instead of graduating high school.
Should have been stacking my money instead of stacking this damn.
We thought we had
high
it
school
with college, all that kind of stuff.
It's because the dude in the commercial.
You're sitting there. You have no idea what you're gonna do with your life.
He made me feel like I was poop.
But you know what? It's all bad because even after I graduated college, I saw that commercial and I was like, I don't want to hear you. It's like, it made me want to go back to school.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm really not doing nothing in my life. Because Jerry was on. I'm watching Jerry Springer, man.
Maury, you come home from school, Jerry Springer, Maury.
And Practical Jokers. And then, but yeah, it was like those kind of stations.
Good cartoons on Cartoon Network were starting to come on.
Oh, man. I miss Cartoon. R.I.P. Cartoon Network. It's a sad last couple of years for that.
Okay, so you know what I hate?
Yeah.
And what they really should stop doing to try to be like what they call themselves progressive. They really need to stop implementing sexual lifestyles in cartoons.
Yes, they do.
Because if it was bad, if they made sexual comments or references back in the day, it's bad for you to insert a sexual lifestyle because you're not inserting a gender choice. You're inserting a sexual lifestyle. Look,
can you give me
an example?
Yeah.
So I'll start off with like this. We know, as far as anatomy has told us, because a woman can have a baby, a man produces a sperm to insert in a woman to have that child. That makes you woman and man. We've known people have been born with both, so they get to choose. That right there is as far as it goes. When you're saying that I was, and I'm getting there, but I'm stretching it. So the reason why I say that is because we have kids saying I was born a male or a woman, but I always felt like I was something different. What implements you to think that? So when you're watching, and it's not just cartoons, it's also media as well. But for cartoons are they try to slide it in and then smack you in the face oh, this person's gay. This person's, because that's a love interest. If it's a kid's show, that shouldn't even be a part of it because kids should not know how to love, how to be in a relationship or how to have sex. That's no matter the gender,
whatever, whatnot. Yeah. Well, because a lot of TV for a long time has been sexualized and we didn't know it. Dexter's Laboratory, Miles was thick. It was just things like that I guess it
I wouldn't say that's sexualized because she's pretty much just taking on the figure of a mom who's had 2 kids.
what would you say? Like, because I think it was an episode. This might have just been a meme, but I'm almost sure it was an episode when it said "Dash Trophy" across the back of her ass.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was
So I mean,
so.
just
I mean, but
Ren and Stimpy
now,
type stuff. Rock
yeah,
on
that's what I was
Modern
really
Life.
going off of. Yeah.
That was as much as I enjoyed them.
Or
Let's be
like
real.
the one thing where they had in Disney with Lion King, where he like Simba was going at the end of the night, he plopped down
And
and the
gave you
dust
that
turned
eye?
into
Oh,
like it. There's a
Oh,
word
it said-
to sex.
I tell you what, I have as a not an illustrator, as a person who sketches and draws and stuff. I've accidentally drawn a bunch of shit.
Oh,
A
yeah,
bunch.
it's easy to draw a dick.
I mean, did you see that the Little Mermaid deal? They said one of the pillars in the castle was
A penis.
a penis.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for that kind of stuff, it's how much time are you wasting really looking into it?
Right.
It shouldn't be there, and if it's on purpose, yeah, it's messed up. But
Because it's like Walt Disney going, all right, now, oh, hold on. So this pillar right here in the middle, make the tip look like a penis. Yeah, yeah.
but it did look like coral,
Subtly.
right?
Subtly.
Yeah, that's right. Real subtle.
I want them to have
But you know, I that, and I would say that's where I truly believe that ignorance is bliss. And you may figure out when you're an adult, but you're old enough to differentiate right and wrong.
Yeah.
So here's an example of that I tell people all the time on whatever problem that they have with what's in the media, or not that I don't have a problem because some things just shouldn't be, but to fight that,
Yeah.
I listened to the Chronic album since almost the day it first came out, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing. I mean, I won't say nothing, but it was about drugs, hoes,
Yeah.
beefing.
Yeah.
My daddy was really good about explaining how that wasn't reality.
Yeah.
And that's just make believe. He gave me my imagination really with it. But you know, it gave me the understanding that I could choose how I wanted to live.
Yeah.
And that's important because if you don't get that at a young age, then you're only going to go based off of what you see. You see it happen every day with the YouTube generation, and these kids thinking that just because they get killed rapping means that they're going to be famous.
Yeah.
It's you have to differentiate. You have to differentiate reality and whatever you're experiencing at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, I knew cartoons weren't real, but did some things affect me still? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have to be careful of what you're taking in, what your diet is, which is why that screen time implemented for kids is so important because.
And even on YouTube, where like people actually make kid video traps, where like they'll have the thumbnail, they'll have part of the video being of a child cartoon, and then they'll have some kind of subliminal message, either in plain sight, just like minutes after, or they'll put little things in between each picture.
I've heard some videos that I've like heard some stuff, and I'm like, what did they just say? So now I have to monitor and go through and see what my kids are watching, which is something that any parent should do. Period.
Yeah.
Don't ever sit up here and say, well, he's good on his own. He makes
check in.
Check in, because this is the world that they're facing. They have this thing. They have the whole world in their hands, just like the songs.
No matter how busy you are, you shouldn't be too busy where you can't pop your head in the room where your kid is at.
Dads love doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely do that when I wash dishes because I'll be sitting there, I'm like, hold up, too quiet.
Oh man, I didn't call it too, boy. My son,
What y'all doing in there?
and his big sister. Oh man, if it ain't my son getting into everything, I put a bowl of cereal in front of him, and it's no longer a bowl or cereal. It's just some
Floor food.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. Dang, I just got done washing dishes. Let me get the mop out now. It never ends. But
When kids do that, and that's why I don't let them eat in the living room. But she is like a little more lenient than I am, and I'm sitting there looking at this mess 5 minutes later. She's like, "I'll clean it."
all I got is a living room and a
you
kitchen.
will.
I don't even got no kitchen table.
And we didn't have one for a while. We just got that one that we have in there, and that's the best one. Like the tables were like it's high enough, and they have Oh, thanks for the follow, Inky Shadow. Thank you. Hey, glad you liked what you're seeing.
Um,
Uh, May the amazingness within you make the world brighter. May the stars shine into your mind to uplift you. And may your skills never falter and your empathy never fail. Have the best day you've ever had in your entire life, and may the next be even better. Have a great day. Thank you very much, and you do the same.
thank you.
That was
Thank
very
you.
nice. That we
That
really
really was
appreciate
nice.
that. Thank you so much.
Warm. It was warm.
I do feel a little warmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Air five to that Inky Shadow. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for sharing the love, and we will definitely spread that. What is it called? Pay it forward. Yeah,
Pay it
we will pay it
forward.
forward.
Not when I go to work though.
Dude, that was dope. That was dope. Good picture.
So
Because even through like the lagginess, enjoy life. Will do. Yes, enjoy life.
dog, and for you, and this is your setup and stuff here. I know you probably got way more of a rush from it because it's nice. Like you put time, regular time into doing this and all that kind of stuff, and when you follow, develop followers and stuff like that, and you see it happen firsthand with a nice message like that. That's
I mean,
a good
even in
feeling.
general, like it's just nice. Well, I don't need this if I have this here. I mean, yeah, it's just nice for anyone to do that just out of their way. I really like when people do that, honestly. And because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and um, I'm gonna invite everyone that's viewing, even if you're watching this as an edited video, if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling bored, or if you feel like there's a calling to you to kind of get up and do something, I advise you take a step outside without your shoes or socks on. Just go barefoot. You don't have to go far. Get far enough to where you're in connection with the wind and the sun. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale as deep as you can, but don't pass out. What you're doing is you're drinking in life. You're just taking life in, and you're expelling any negativity that you might have. Doing that for a couple minutes, minimum, even 5 minutes, will make you feel a whole lot better. I've been doing that a lot more recently, and it feels good. I've been through a lot of dark times, and I can say like you'll feel like a much better person. You'll clear your mind a lot better if you just take a moment to kind of breathe in life, reset your mind, reset your body, revitalize. And that's just going off based on this lovely message and follow from Inky Shadow. Thank you so much.
Hey, can I have a favor? I remember. Well, I remember it does like an hour ago. Um, can you put my tag on my social media?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, we can do that right
Okay. Let me make sure I got the info.
now. I'll add it as a text on here so they can see it. Trae tag.
Ooh, I forgot I got that, baby.
You can type it if you want. So I have it in the text bar. What we'll do is we'll have you text it out, and then we'll put it there at the bottom for people to see.
Okay. Sad thing enough, I don't ever remember if there's an underscore there.
Mm-hmm.
What's so funny?
Oh, just fact you put brother.
Oh, yo,
A
so
little chocolate to myself.
funny thing about that, I was in a cohort, and I'm presenting to some people. I can't remember how big the audience was or exactly where I was, but I announced and I said, and I was saying my tag. I said that's Brother Gresh. He on Instagram was Brother Gresh, and I said with the A and not an ER, and I was like, oh. So yeah, it was like I said it with the. Okay, good. So did you catch that? Do you understand what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to say like.
That's why I was. That's why I was laughing because whenever I say brother to people in text, what I mean is brother. But like, I don't want to type it out, so
Dude, I feel weird. Like I can't type the way that I talk. This is a pseudonym.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like to stylize it that way. But if you text me, like I'm putting my commas in the right spot. I can't I'd say some things like wanna or woulda, but I don't want to do it. But no punctuation and everything because you can't understand tone in text. So it helps put context in there of like how you feeling and what you're really saying. But I'm terrible about it. Terrible. Just plain old terrible.
Sean, thanks for that. I got so busy trying to fix the stream connection earlier, I completely forgot. Because I told myself to do it. You always remind me to post about being live. It helps people kind of get there.
Oh,
which right here.
See, I'm supposed to be a personal marketing, and here I go. Not even.
See, me too.
Telling you, I got so many goals and aspirations as far as marketing and the lack thereof in this city that I could do, but I don't know how to market myself. Like I know how to push things, I know how to design things to where it'll catch the eye, but I look at like the Facebook and social media algorithms, and I try to, I want to crack that code, but I've been moving around doing so much stuff, dude. I can't sit down for longer than 15
It's a little bit to learn, but once you learn it, you go, huh, okay, I got it now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely just take it a step at a time. Don't stress it, because even when you learn it, you're still fighting against it. Because when it comes to picking up on the algorithm, it's not only understanding it, but then like you can boost your post. So you can kind of fit yourself into the algorithm a lot better than what you're getting if you're not getting a whole lot back.
I got you.
But honestly, like I think for where I'm at right now, without boosting my posts and just trying to post something on my page every day, I think my last, what do they call it? Review, my page review. I had hit almost 500 people.
Really?
Just with posting every day.
And see, I got to get back on that with my TikTok. I was actually doing pretty decent on TikTok. I edited a few videos, just of me painting, and it got a lot better traction than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Very surprised actually. It wasn't a heck of a whole lot, but one of these I got 1,400 people that saw the video. But it's just stuff like that. It was tagged correctly and all that other good jazz. So, so it's nice to see that coming back towards you. But it takes.
It does.
You got to sit down. Like I'm personally.
You got to be. No, I don't mean to cut you off. Right. I was learning from Sean as well because he does Discord, so he kind of understands it a lot more than I do. You really got to be patient with it. Like you just kind of, it's like watching your stocks.
Yeah.
You gotta have to just kind of like let it run itself. I mean, if you know how to boost it, if you know how to get your name out there or get your image out there, then go for it. But like, you just kind of have to play the game where it's exposure. Like you gotta know what to post, what tags to put, what demographic to go for, and even go as far as like if you see that there's someone on in your friends list or like something like that nature, and you see that they have a common ground with you, add them.
Who you may know.
Yeah,
I try that.
I mean, you won't really get a lot of feedback the way you do at first because some people are like, "Do I know you?" And you're like, "No, I'm just trying to get my name out there." So you had a common interest, thought you might like what I post.
Let me tell you about my anxiety when it comes to people, especially like social media.
Yeah,
I'm pretty well convinced that most people around here think that I'm like some kind of a psycho.
Yeah.
I feel that it kind of.
Well, I felt that way myself.
It makes me feel like it's a wedge in me actually getting a point across and anything because Wichita is very tight knit, whereas you can find out about anybody by asking about 3 or 4 people. Yeah.
I know that.
And I know the people, man. And I wouldn't say that they had a bad opinion on me. I don't think that they would have a opinion that would get me any more revenue. It's the thing.
So I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm gonna tell you why you should feel better about yourself.
No, that's about it.
So I was Mr. Get Around. Because I didn't want to settle down at one point in time.
You light skin, so I mean, I get it.
And
you got hair.
I'm milk chocolate and I got a smile. So I, like, okay, so I was very out there, very, I knew people from, high places and low places.
Uh-huh.
I had a very wide female interest. So, because I had a bad experience with relationships, I was just kind of, taking the time for myself. But there were people that I were interested in physically, but not like long term. And I would let them know that. So I'm pretty sure I don't really have the best name for myself either. But here's the thing: if you're letting 10 people stop you from reaching 10,000, did you actually deserve it in the first place?
Nope. But that's the thing. Is like I'm still not stopped. Um,
It's a block.
it's a wedge. Yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
a
like I said,
wedge.
wedge.
But it's something I'm going to get over because I'm not stopping. Like I've been in a very big crossroads with my art here
Yeah.
lately,
Yeah.
and I've had thoughts of stopping, but here I sit with you sketching and doing art, and ultimately this isn't anything that anybody else isn't doing. You know what I mean? There's no reason why I should give up at this point. I make enough money at my regular job to where I'm gonna be all right. But I have these ideas in my head that I would feel like a failure if I gave up. And it's not gonna be any it's not gonna be any I forgot where I was going.
No, keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to bring it back real quick.
So you're saying, I feel like you're saying,
oh, it's not gonna be anybody that tells me, or that I heard about somebody that's talking bad about me, or they don't have a good opinion about me. No, that'll never be the constant. The understanding is, I didn't get those shares because somebody felt like I was a weirdo, or I didn't get those. I didn't get these people to back my funding.
Yeah.
Because these people heard about some out of the third. I was drunk for a long time, man.
Me too.
But I just don't know. You know what I mean? It's but I don't let it stop me. I just feel like if that was the reason, because
it's there.
I'm gonna speak up about myself right now when I say look at the quality of the content that I put out. Quality alone.
You don't have to say anything.
I don't have to say anything. That speaks for itself.
There you go.
So why is it not more broad? So I have to ask my question, and those are possible reasons that it could be. Another thing for me is painting and sketching is pebbles. It's time consuming, and I'd like to touch on that before we leave. But it's pebbles to what I really want to do. You know, I'm an animator. I want to make cartoons.
Okay.
I want to do 3D and stuff like that. You talking about time consumption? I won't even let anybody say they want me to do that without at least 2 months rent off the gate. Right. Because I'm not going to play with you about it. For one thing, we're going to finish it. But for another thing, I have to take off work. I'm not going to work 50, 60 hours a week and then go and make anybody a cartoon. Right. It's not going to happen. But that's what makes it very hard to freelance animation if you work 50, 60 hours a week. Because I don't work 40. I very rarely work 40 hours a week. And when I say I'll just go say, first off, I was gonna say for a second ago, I'm proud of you for doing what you do on a consistent basis to where you even have a steady amount of episodes. Period. You know, no bullshit. Thank you. Because if I did stuff like this on top of my art and actually narrowed down and buckled down, I would probably be a little bit further. You know, so I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
But I'll touch on the speed of in which I work. A lot of people expect me to be able to do a 16 by 20 painting in a matter of a month.
I don't paint, and I know how difficult it is, but I know that's it. Especially when you have a full-time job, being a full-time dad. Nah, it's gonna take some time.
Look. So I'm glad that you said that because it helps me understand that some people's expectations are not it, right? But I have been working on a series of 3 8x10 paintings I've started in March. I'm not done. It's August. That takes too long. Yeah. And this is the point to where I'm vocalizing the fact that I've made too many excuses. You know, I've leaned on too many different vices.
Oh, yeah.
Well, definitely. Not too many. I'm sorry. There's a few, it just happen too often.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm not experimental when it comes to stuff like that. Um, but there's a fine line between making excuses and giving yourself time.
Yep.
And I don't like excuses. It's not anything that's going to get me anywhere. It's bullcrap.
Yeah.
I have my fair share. And I think everybody does.
Oh,
but I bet you I could have got that series of 3 painting done by May if I really cut out enough.
Yeah.
So that's where my focus is, and I can't bring anybody anything on a professional level. I don't feel like until I get that aspect narrowed down.
So let me say this. I'll go from back to front here. What helped me understand that with music DJing, and then this what I'm doing with you right now on my own, and then what the help Sean in you is that you so when it comes to the excuses, that's with okay, so we're pretty much all three alike because he thinks similar to me. We think similar to each other. So if we all sat down and had a whole conversation, we'd have a universal experience. Now, the reason why something like being held up with time or responsibilities is because we hold that to ourselves severely. We have to get things done because we got to live, we got to survive, and then we put our hobbies second. Everyone else they put their hobbies first, and then they depend on people to like help them live their life.
Well, because let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. It depend on somebody else. Like I got OCD. I don't want you to wash my drawers. I'll clean up. Look.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. So when we take the helm of responsibility, we tend to put off ourselves. We're learning to put ourselves first now, but we still have responsibility to take care of. So it's not that we're making excuses. We do make excuses, but we also have a responsibility to put first. But we need to understand how to multitask with not only our hobbies or careers that we want to get off the ground, but also our responsibilities. And look, being a father of children under 3, it's going to take some time because when they start to get to be independent, you can leave them alone and go do your thing. As long as you keep your ear open and your eye out there every 15 minutes, you're good. Right now, it's crucial. And what I had to tell myself is that right now I'm in the process of being able to spend time with my family because when I start to get successful, I won't have time for them, which is going to hurt.
Bet you, if you got successful, then it would have something to do with you spending a lot of time with your kid.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be busy with work and just like that.
I should have said that. I'd be more busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the problem I'm having right now is like
finding time.
Well, I'm not successful, and I work shit.
Well, look what you're doing.
Well, I'm a successful artist. At this point in time, I would sell myself.
And I want you to rewire your brain like that because like when you start speaking about yourself like that, you'll start to turn things around for you. Manifestation.
That's fair.
Speak it out loud, it'll start to change. And I only say that because 1, I would like better for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and all that. But 2, it worked for me. I had to start saying out loud, do it. I'm this way because we put too much pressure on ourselves as far as defining success. When we think of success, we think of people who are out there working these 9 to 5s. They get these 401k plans. They're living comfortably. They're not, like they want to make a small purchase of minimum or maximum $500. They'd be like, okay. We're like,
yeah.
So that's what we do. I'm not saying that that's your full definition of success, but that's we kind of get in that mindset, and we can't do that to ourselves because we deserve to allow ourselves better than that. So you are successful because you got a job, you got a car, you eat, you got shelter for you and your kids. Like you're doing the damn thing as a man, as a father. You are very successful, but now you're granted the time to get back into your hobby, your hobby that you want to be a career.
That's a good point, and that's very well said.
That water's for you, by the way.
Water?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. What was I say? I'm not gonna say bougie, I got high standards, man. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have high standards.
I do too. A little bit. A little bit.
One of my ultimate goals of success is taking my family to Disneyland.
Okay. Hey, you know what? That's that's a goal though, because that's a lot. That's how a lot of our family were the same way.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'm gonna take you to Disneyland.
Yep.
I ain't been yet.
Yep.
But I know a lot of people that have. But like that's because what you do, that's a really good goal because you know that it's reachable, it's attainable. Like just like some people who have they're like in a higher financial class or whatever, they're like, oh, let's go to Fiji. You know? Like it's attainable for them, but like in due time. So that's really good that you're setting the kind of like that.
Yeah, no, I'm a pretty calculated person where I'm gonna start calling it calculated instead of saying I think too much.
Nice.
Yeah, because I do believe in speaking your truth and speaking what you really mean. Our words are very powerful and they do hurt.
Okay.
Compared to what everybody used to try to tell us.
No, yeah, I'll let you finish and I'll go off of that.
Yeah, but a lot of success has to do with, for me, has to do with my kids and my family. It doesn't have much to do with the job. I don't want to chase a job for the rest of my life. If I had to work where I'm at right now for the rest of my life, that'd just be it. But that's not going to stop me from going home and doing whatever I want to do in my time.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I want my time to be my time, and I want to do it for more. I want to do 40 hours a week for myself and not anybody else.
Right.
That's my idea of success. And it's really hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
And you have to have a lot of money in the first place to do it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And having understanding, patient family members.
Yeah. You do have to have a good, strong support system.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know. That's the hard part for me because, you know, me and my pops, and I'll try to never talk about him in a negative light. My parents aren't perfect, but my parents are my parents, and I'm thankful every day for them. Me and him bumped heads a lot about me doing art. Yeah. Because he's traditional, worked at his job for 35 years. Right. Wanted me to do the same and go in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Follow this, wants you to make sure
you're
good.
Yeah. Like, you can't be mad at him for that because for where he came from, for one thing, they had holes in the floor coming up, man. Like, oh, yeah. My pops used to pick cotton, okay? Yeah. Like, not in the slave type of way. It was, like, more closer to sharecropping. Yeah. But they still got paid more than I think. But he old school. Let's just put it like that. My dad was very old school. Right. And we bumped heads. So I was like, man, look at what you did for me. And that's what I told him. I said, look, this is what you did for me. I said, you gave me the ability to live and dream. And, you know, I said, you can't see it because of where you came from. Right. I said, but all I want you to do is trust in me that I'm not going to sink what you gave me. Yeah, no, for real. Because, man, think about it. Just getting a lot of people that look like me don't have pops at home. No, period. And my pops was barely at home, but because he was at work. He was at work. There you go. So I dealt with, you know, me and him went through the ringers about what I was supposed to be doing versus what I thought I needed to be doing as a kid and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it wasn't nothing that was like he thought it would be. Right. And he had to come to grips with that. Right. But I was kind of got off track there. But no, you good. It's just like we went back and forth about art for a long time until he saw that, oh, well, this dude ain't gonna give up. He just done everything I asked him to, and he still hasn't stopped. Because he never asked me to stop. But he did ask me to, like, you know, think about different options. And as I've explored different options, the thing has remained the same. That I can just go home and do it. Yeah. You know, it's just like, why not? Yeah. What's stopping me? Am I not paying attention to the kids? Nah, me and the kids do stuff all the time, you know? Am I having love and relationship problems? Every day. Yeah. And not in a bad way. It's just, that's just life, you know? Yeah. That's just life. um, if you're if your significant other is asking you for a little bit more money,
Right.
um, you might have to draw back or whatever and do what you got to do. But also, significant other, what are you doing for more? You know,
Right.
it gets into those conversations. But you figure it out, man.
Trying
You
to
gotta
write
figure
what
it out.
down? Because he said a lot of good stuff. I'm trying to figure out which one to write down. Go ahead.
So let's start reading. Um, but no, man. I mean, like just knowing what you got,
Yeah.
and then being able to apply what you got
Yes.
to what you got, and you know, it's a huge blessing, and
Yeah.
like all my entire life, like every day, I have no reason not to be grateful.
Right.
So I use what God gave me at the
What
same
made you
time.
both turn and say that's a good one? Oh. Oh.
I don't want to go back and look at it.
I'll have to.
We had a few moments,
Yeah.
haven't we?
I'll have to
that's
write down a
good.
bunch of stuff that where we both
That's
kind
good,
of
though.
reacted to it.
And see, this is also
I'll put a pin in it.
this is very healthy for me. This whole process because
Yeah.
I don't get around a lot of people. I'm not a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I remember first meeting you, and you didn't seem like the people person that you are now. Like, I think you always had a scowl on your face whenever I seen you. I was like, man, this man's at work. He cool as hell, but and then we was dealing with Macias, so it was like wasn't nobody about to be happy at the table.
That was just my work face until about 11.
But you was good at what you was doing, man.
It's just because like I go in there and I'm already like dealing with something, but I keep that to myself. I just my face ain't gonna change for a little bit. Like I said, 3 hours. But then I'm coming into work and like I'm dealing with people who are just a problem. Not only is it just like co-workers, but it's also customers. And so I'm just like, damn, because like I got to a point to where I was so well rounded. I was pretty much kind of like doing everything, but I had really good help. I had really good servers. I had good bartenders. It's just like when I'm coming in, oh, server called out, so now it's just me the bartender. Well,
Yep.
I'm not smiling.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Or like,
I feel that. Or when I'm working with a shit server, I'm like, no, I'm not smiling because I know I'm gonna have to tell this dumbass to go put the coals down, blah blah blah, whatever. So yeah, I usually would have a scowl on my face till about 11, and then I'm cool.
So meeting people at work is not
it was 11 o'clock and a few shots in.
Right.
But I mean, just to kind of because I forget half the things that you just said, but everything was really good. But I only forgot because I was trying to like retract to say like kind of like go off of what you're saying. But basically the struggles of being an artist while having responsibilities is very tough. And I'm glad I've been able to sit here, a fellow, another fellow artist to kind of share this with, because I'd like for people to understand that you're not alone. And it's a very heavy statement to say in here, like you're not alone. And I want this platform, this Mike Social, to be a huge thing for people, because whenever you feel like you're alone, like listen to the words of everyone else. I got Trae here. I've got Sean always in the comments. And we got Keys. Sometimes, and we're gonna have more people. It's gonna take time. There we go. That word right there. So time is a factor. If it happens fast, it ends fast. I always say that. Yeah. I always say that because when I started working at Chili's, that's a different conversation for a different day. But if it happens fast, it ends fast, and it's always been. I've always seen it. It's an 8 out of 10 for me, so I will always stand by that. What you're doing is that you are. I used to work at Chili's. We'll talk about that later. So, what you're doing is that you're crafting yourself to get used to the environment that you're going to be in. So, if things are taking some time to get off the ground, well, you're training yourself to do, well, what can I do in my time? And when you've got a lot on your plate, but you're trying to he sung it too. When you've got a lot on your plate and you're trying to do something that you really want, that teaches you to prioritize while also keeping a level head. And then you also have to understand that, like, you may be doing good at what you're at, but you could probably do better. So like, learn some basics. It's really all just reevaluating what you're doing in that time that you have. And also, you may feel like it's taking a while for things to get off the ground for you. Well, one thing is that maybe you're kind of forced to sit with your surroundings, like really enjoy what you have, because you may not have the time to enjoy it when things get better for you, and the point of view of that
Amen.
success
Yeah.
starts off.
Yeah.
So let's say, like I was telling him earlier, like, to reword it, I won't have the amount of time I have now with my family if when things kick off for me. So I right now I'm learning to critique my craft with everything, and also trying to spend time with family that I have, because when things pick up, I won't have a lot of that time to do so. And I'm gonna miss them. They're gonna miss me. I'm just gonna try to squeeze in every little bit I can. Same, for whatever art route you're going, or even work. It's just when you have something that you're trying to produce for the public or even for yourself, it's going to take time for things to kick off. We try to look at a time measurement with everyone else, because some people do get lucky, but you have to get out of the comfort zone of being able to expose yourself, reach out to people, find common ground with people. Um, Now I'm starting to backtrack. So find what's comfortable for you. Social media is a very good start. Like, we see it as the toxic trait that it can be, but it's really a good place because you find people like us.
Everything on the internet is a good tool if you use it the right way.
What you can do is, like I was saying earlier, like if you see that there are friends on your friends list, or when they interact, like they have a common ground, add them. If you have the struggles of adding people, or feeling that rejection, just take it as a career stance. Like, I'm trying to get myself on the ground. I saw that you had a common interest. I thought you might like what I have. If you could let me know, or just like and share. If you don't, you have to get comfortable with being rejected, because you're not going to be received by everyone at first. Some people, it's going to take some time. Other people, they just don't have the taste of whatever you're producing, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need to put any pressure or any effort into those people anymore. And they could be really good friends, and it's just like, okay, I don't need to show you things if you're not going to want to see them. But if you have people who go, it's not my thing, but I would like to look at it anyway. Well, hey, continue to show. Let them kind of talk to you about critiquing certain things, and take things how you want. Like, oh, take that note. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll try it. Or, I really appreciate your input, but I think I'm gonna keep it the same, because what you're doing is you're getting yourself trained to be able to respond that way, and to remain humble about it, because somebody might tell you, oh, I think it might look good this way. Um, I can look into it, but I think I like it where it's at now. But thanks for the input. You're being able to let someone know, I appreciate the feedback, but it'll stand. And if they have any more to say about it, it's like, well, hey, I put all this time and effort, and I really like where it's at now. But again, thank you. And if they continue going, she'll be like, all right, I'm no longer listening to you. But what really, it's just, you gotta be able to learn how to put yourself out there, because it starts with you. And I've been learning this myself. So when you go to put yourself out there on social media, as I was saying, my numbers of views on my page have increased because I've been posting something every day. Just trying to really stay on track with the focus that I've been wanting to. What else? So, like, I try to post one that I feel is me, whether it be memes, or inspirational messages, or just like trying to be as uplifting I can for my peers, but also something that will actually be shared, expand. So, for example, instead of showing a funny meme that me and only three people will understand, I can put that on my personal page. But on the page, on the artist page, on the My Camp social page, I'll probably put something that'll reach everyone, that'll resonate in front of with everyone that I know. And instead of getting one like on a page that I could put on my personal page, I can get 5 shares, 10 likes on something that I put on my artist page. And that's just how exposure works. That's how the algorithm is going to work. And like I said earlier, you can also boost your posts on your artist page if you like. I mean, you can get it further out that way.
Absolutely. And I'll be
The
putting this on mine too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
sharing this
definitely,
on my
definitely,
pages.
definitely. The practice is just getting comfortable with being able to get outside of yourself, outside of your comfort zone, because you're gonna get rejected. You're gonna get people who be like, "I don't like what you do. It's just not me." You're gonna get people who actually just make horrible comments. Get comfortable with that as well. The best way to do it is tell yourself that. But don't get too harsh. Don't let yourself down. Just like being able to point out the faults before anyone else does, because when someone else pointed out, like let's say for my drawing, um, let's say a line here, someone noticed, and they're like, "Oh, that stands out." Well, if I already noticed it, go, "Yeah,
Yep.
I'll
It
fix
just
it."
means you're on top of your stuff. Good. Yep, I seen it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Critic. Yeah, I get that a lot.
But I
Um,
think part of the shell that we put ourselves in, as far as kind of having the social anxiety or the social hesitance to be able to speak to people about what we've crafted, what we want to publish, or what we exposing ourselves, is that it's partially not wanting to be rejected, but also it's like I think we've already put so much pressure on ourselves. We have to learn to love our craft. We have to learn to love what we're trying to publish. I have the same problem too. It took me a while to put anything out because I was like, "Ah, I don't really like it." You got to learn to like it. Even if you only like it a little bit, you're not going to like everything completely. But if you can like a little bit of everything, you should be able to feel better about putting it out there. And it'll take time. Like, for me, when I'm drawing, I'll really like something and I'll stick to it and I'll try to implement it in the other pieces of the other parts of the piece. Or I'll be like, I really like that. I'll try to do something different because I'll start to like it. And then as the whole piece comes to fruition, I'm like, man, I really like the piece, but that one part that I did, perfect. And then you can talk about it because that not only engages you with your viewers, but that also lets people understand how truly devote and and really about it you are. And that's what people like, the genuine nature of what you desire. Because people will love to sit there and watch you talk about what you did with a piece, what you did with some a song, and they're just like, man, he really likes it, he really enjoys it, he or she, and it'll take off from there. People like seeing that from the soul. Um, and then just take everything day by day. There's no time frame for success, and really don't pressure yourself to be successful by a certain time frame. You can have a goal. Like I have a 10-year goal, and I'm 2 years in, and I really haven't gotten that far. But I've got another 8 years left. That's 8 years.
I'm 9 years in the month.
Yeah.
Be 9 years in September.
So honestly, I'm a lot farther than that. But I've made a 10-year goal from when I actually started taking myself seriously. But it's okay for things to happen because like as long as you can take a left turn, get back on track. If you take a roundabout, get back on track. Things are gonna happen in life. Things happen to people all the time. Some people use it as motivation to continue. Others gotta sit with it for a little bit, and that's okay. All you have to do is just understand that it's a moment in time, and to get back on track. And we deal with it. We deal with it every day.
We really do. That's man. Let me tell you, and that was good because in my 10-year plan, I my tenacity and my desire to want to finish it is the thing that got me as far as like I might have had 6 steps on this thing. I'm at 5.
Yeah.
I'm one away from reaching that. But it never happened the way that I wanted it to. But I was able to take this 10-year goal and say, I was able to take this 10-year goal and say everything is still lining up.
Yeah.
And that's important. We make plans for God's entertainment, basically.
Yeah.
And so you implement that into what you got going on.
Yeah.
And you gotta stop and be grateful. You gotta think about how much time you got, and if you have to edit that time, your goal, your list, or whatever your plan, go ahead and edit it.
Yeah.
You can't go so hard on this is exactly how it has to happen because you'll never get it that way.
Got to be willing to adjust. Definitely. You have to be, what is it? Yeah, got to be willing to adjust.
I will have to say though, at this point, I gotta start getting. I think I left my shoes at home.
Oh, you
I
did?
gotta go to work. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Um, this is good. I think we'll. I want to do it again.
Oh, definitely.
Um,
Yeah, I'm down. No, like I said, this is gonna be a segment. I've been trying to implement it forever, and the fact
mhm.
that we were able to get together that one day and really put it into fruition, I'm
Yep.
very happy with it.
I am too,
Um,
honestly.
yeah, like I said, like this little tidbit about being stopped with the quality of the stream isn't stopping me. Like I've been hit, so just to kind of give you guys some inspiration, if you need it. If not, I'm just gonna speak it out because it's inspiring me. I've been hit with something. It's always something. That's another one of my lines of life. It's always something, you know.
Always.
So with this stream, like I had good streams and then I've had horrible ones. I've been dealing with something every single stream, but I'm gonna continue to figure it out and find out what I got to do to make this a solid, smooth, watchable stream. Because like I wouldn't want to sit here and watch lagginess either, but I appreciate the support that everyone's doing it anyway.
Cause that's important.
It's very nice to see that you guys are patient enough to sit there and just watch me kind of go.
That's
But at the same time, like I am still learning how to expose myself and get comfortable with this as well. Like I like being able to do this with people, you know, because I've got to meet a fantastic man like Trey. I've got my brother Sean on the other end, you
Oh,
know.
hey, man, you
Uh, Everybody's family, you know. So like I've gotten close to these guys. Everybody's family.
yeah, I don't
Uh,
be getting close to people leaving.
but no, I definitely want to do this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm willing to make this a weekly thing if you wanted to. Honestly, even just sketching aside, man,
Hmm.
this is healthy conversation for a person like me because,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't get out a
Hmm.
lot. And I talk to as many people as I talk to. There's very few.
Hmm.
Me and I want you to meet my other friend too. That we go about this
Yeah.
the same way.
Hmm.
But it's good to get a lot of this outward,
Yeah.
and that's important for me,
Definitely.
especially right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm willing. I'm ready.
I definitely know that we can set up a schedule.
Mm,
We'll probably start with bi-weekly because I have the Thursdays, the first and third Thursdays.
okay.
So we can probably do second and fourth Wednesdays.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely have to figure out how to get back on it because yeah, this is fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because I didn't think I'd get this far with my piece, but
You see? Oh man.
I have to finish it.
Those astral planes.
Just different planets, but yeah, this
Oh,
is like
okay.
the tree of life.
I like that. I was gonna put some of the plasma light things in. Are those rocks or is that?
Yeah, this is like
Uh,
it taken away from a different planet.
I
So
like that.
the reason why I have these headstones here is because I wanted to kind of get morbid about it. It's like life or
Mm.
death. Energy is always being used.
I thought it was a memorial.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
but
yeah, life or death.
okay.
Energy is always being used. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. That's
Mhm.
the line I will live by.
Okay.
And that's probably if I have a headstone, that'll be on it. But I'll probably get cremated.
Uh, you said
Just a little touch of what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll try to finish that. Dude, I was looking at it earlier, and I really like the angle that you chose.
I wanted to go traditionally perspective drawing.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm supposed to get better, and I haven't sketched in a while.
Yeah. I like the perspective.
Everybody knows it's the fork in the road
Yeah.
conversation, man.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of something I
Dude,
could throw
what?
down quick. Is like, which way am I
That's
gonna
a
go?
perfect. That's a perfect piece. Fork in the road,
Yeah,
dude. That's crazy.
yeah, folks.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Put
I
you
can.
up on here.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, my big ass finger.
And check out that's my Instagram handle. Hop on the IG and just look through some of my work. I'll probably talk right into the microphone on that one.
No, you're good.
Look through some of my work. Anything that you see on there, for the most part, can be printed, except for my James Brown. Wow, not James Brown. George Clinton picture that you had. I haven't gotten that one set out yet. Hey, they're close. It was close. What's so funny? Uh,
You said they were close.
Well, Bootsy Collins used to play with George Clinton, and Bootsy Collins played for James Brown too. So
James Brown was sweating out cocaine on stage.
that's because Bootsy Collins gave it to him. There are videos. Mike Judge did some cartoon shorts of Bootsy Collins telling stories about him playing for James Brown.
Oh, for real?
You should YouTube it. It's hilarious.
Oh my god!
But nah, yeah, all that's for sale. I don't have any originals, and commissions are going to cost you way more than $40.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm going to stop commissions right now and get the bring in new baby, and yeah, I'm gonna be another daddy, y'all, again. And
New edition. Hey, congrats on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you know like how far or?
This is brand new stuff,
Brand new?
man.
Okay.
So we right off in the beginning, but
All right. On baby number 2, y'all. Congratulations.
and I'm still gonna be doing this. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No reason nobody should give up. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna be doing commissions. I'm gonna be actually going from a liberal art form. I'm going back to my computer. I'm going digital sketches. I'm going back to 3D, and I'm going to start implementing some drafting and animation and video editing, all that. So I have to put paintbrushes and pencils down for a while.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up because homie's going to go to work. But again, you've heard it. You can find him on Instagram at brother_Gresh.
Or Facebook.com, Brother Gresh Visuals, no underscore. And also TikTok at the same, at Brother_Gresh.
And again, as always, you can find us here. Socials on Twitter.
Oh, there it is.
Facebook. Yeah, we'll have to reconvene again. I'll definitely make sure to do better about promoting the episode. But yeah, we'll come back and we'll just catch and catch.
Hey,
for everyone that's tuned in and everyone that's been a part of this amazing journey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you together soon again.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll get back to you on that. I'm sorry I haven't opened it. It's been kind of busy. Actually, yeah. No, I'm not making excuses. Yeah, I'll eat. All right, y'all. Peace.